Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope you are all having a fantastic Wednesday so far. I know I am. Mine has just begun. I'm beginning my day with you. Good morning, baby Laelia 4. Leo, good morning. Nora, good morning. Milena, how is my health? My health is good, except for my skin. I received a sunburn. I got a sunburn on Sunday. A sunburn on Sunday. Yeah, you can see it. You can see it quite clearly. Oh, I'm glad it's showing up so well on camera. I received a sunburn. Well, I got a sunburn. Yes, my face is red. Good morning, Sally. Good morning, Rosa. Good morning, Ali. Good morning, JB. Good morning, Waddington. Alash. Yes, I spent too much time in the sun. I often forget that with my complexion, with the color of my skin, I cannot be out in the sun very long, and I forget it about every year. Yes, this is what the sun can do when your complexion is very, very pale. Hello, Mustafa. Hello, Lukesh. Hopefully, I'm saying your names correctly. Let me go to the lesson page real quick. Is that correct for complexion? It looks like it is. Complexion. The complexion is the tone, we would say the color tone of your skin. So not only is my skin white, it's very, very pale. I'm very pale. I don't have a lot of color to my skin. And people with my complexion burn very easily in the sun. I burn in about a half hour. If I am not wearing sunblock, I burn in about a half hour. We're going to do vocabulary, but yes, I will talk about transitive and intransitive verbs first. And then the first word we'll look at today will be an intransitive verb. You're not late, Dapu. You're just on time. We've only just begun. Yes, my skin does not have a lot of melanin in it. Good, JB. Good word, melanin. That would be the pigment. It's called the chemical in your skin that gives it its complexion. Different people have different levels of melanin in their skin. And yes, thank you. Thank you, Bushra. If I'm pale, a better word for pale is fair. That's a nicer word. Good morning, Tina. Good morning, Bushra. Good morning, Venci. I forgot how to say your name already. Can I call you Grigorov? Is that even right? Nilofer, good to see you. A lot of old faces and names here this morning. Yes, I'm not quite albino. I'm not albino. Not skin without pigment or melanin. It will appear very, very white, like true white. I should wear sunblock. I should wear lotion. I should wear sunblock. I forgot. Every year I forget. Either I burn my arms or my legs. This year, unfortunately, it happened to be my face. Lucy, good morning and welcome. Thushara, I know in other countries people are receive more exposure to the sun, so it's not as big a deal. As you probably have heard from past videos, we went through a very long winter here, and I have not seen the sun in quite a while. Ellis, that's a good question. Melanin in my skin. The melanin in my skin, as in inside my skin. Leo, I could never live in Kenya or a place like that. I would have to bring a barrel of sunblock. Anise, I hope I'm saying your name right. Anise Santos, Thushara, Ellis, good morning, good morning. Vivek, of course, good morning. Lena, good night. Yeah, I'm saying good morning from my part of the world here. Yes, the sun is a friendly enemy. I always get excited when the sun comes out again in summer, and then I always forget I can't get too much of it. Alicia, good morning. Bharat, good morning. Hello, everybody. Vivek is immune to the sun. He is invulnerable. If you're immune, something cannot make you sick. Invulnerable cannot be hurt. I should probably say what parts of speeches these are. It's complexion, noun, melanin, noun, albino, noun, sometimes used as an adjective, immune, adjective, and invulnerable, adjective. JB, are you asking me what my ethnicity is? That's, complicated for an American. I am an American, of course. My ancestors were mostly Irish, but also English, Scottish, and Dutch. So not a wide variety. Many people in America, like myself, are a mixture of people from different countries. Yes, that's right. Grigorov, I am not albino. I do, and thank you. I'll take your, thank you, Dr. Grigorov. I will take your orders. I will be more careful in the sun. I will wear a hat. I will put on sunblock. Okay. How about I go through the links real quick, and then I'll talk about transitive and intransitive verbs. If you have any questions about the Smrt classes, you can always contact Zach at smartenglish.com. There is no A in the Smrt English. You can learn more about our live classes and how to become a subscriber at both of these links. If you click on one of those, there are 4 classes available: my class, Abby's class, Sean's class, and Josh's class. My class has been moved to Wednesdays, as most of you here know. In some locations it still says Monday, but the class is obviously on Wednesday. Mish, you have not missed anything, I don't think. Michael, good morning. Yomera, good morning. Okay. The SEEL page, if you want to learn more about the school where Josh and myself and Abby work, go ahead and click on that link. We have a Facebook group, Learn English on Facebook with Smrt. If you have not joined that group, you can do so at your leisure as soon as you have time. And then, of course, our YouTube channel archives all the videos. I believe this is video number 444. So we have a total of 444 videos. If you're looking for a particular subject, you should be able to find it. And I'm sorry, Ali, yeah, Mark doesn't do videos anymore. I'm sorry to say that. And if you would like to email me, I'm neal.live@smartenglish.com. My name's Neal Hallgarth. I have not changed my name. It's the same as last week. Okay. Let's look at transitive and intransitive verbs. Hi, Franny. Welcome. I'm going to give a little mini lesson about transitive and intransitive verbs. They're very easy. So, a transitive verb, for example, would be something like throw. Why? Why is throw a transitive verb? Well, let's look at an example sentence. If I wrote this sentence, and maybe I'll make it a little bigger so it's easier to read. If I write this sentence, I throw, and put a period after it, it makes no sense. Everybody is going to ask, what do you throw? What do you throw? It needs more. It requires an object. So this one, incorrect. If you write a sentence and you use a transitive verb and you don't include an object, it will be incorrect. There won't be enough information. This verb needs an object. Let's see if I have it. And there are the class notes one more time in the chat room if you want to follow along. Good morning, Maxime. Welcome. Alosh, yes. That's different. Alosh asks about throw up. Throw up is a phrasal verb with a verb and a preposition. Has a completely different meaning than the verb throw. So let's look at a correct example. I throw a frisbee. I throw a frisbee. Now this is correct. It has an object. Some verbs are transitive. They require an object afterwards. Otherwise, there's not enough information. There will not be enough information. You can even consider a sentence like, I eat. Now that's correct, but it's strange to say that. Everybody eats. They have to. There is nobody who can say, I do not eat. As a habit, as a daily habit, as a human, you have to. So, although eat is not strictly a transitive verb, we often include an object. I eat a sandwich. Some verbs need an object to make sense, really, to make sense. Otherwise, we wouldn't see it. So with transitive verbs need an object. They need a noun. Those verbs need to be applied to something. Hi, Sway. It's okay. I'm just talking about transitive and intransitive verbs. Remember, a transitive verb requires an object. An intransitive verb cannot have an object. Cannot have an object. And that brings me to the first word in our vocabulary. I'm starting with F. I'm not going to start from A. I'm going to start from F. Michael, you say, I eat a lot of toothpaste. Is that correct? That sentence is grammatically correct, but it is not correct in real life to eat a lot of toothpaste. So, going slowly, Rosa, I know the, yes. Good. Leo, Rosa asks a question, what does Leo shoot? Leo shoots a sheriff. Sheriff is an object. It is transitive. Good. If you can put an object afterwards, it is transitive. The first word we're going to look at now is float. Float happens to be an intransitive verb. Looking at the example sentence here, it is very easy to float in the Dead Sea due to the large amount of salt. Float means you're on top of the water. So I'm going to use that verb float. I cannot say I float the Dead Sea. I float the Dead Sea. This is incorrect. Incorrect. Sway, today we're going to do vocabulary, but first a quick lesson on transitive and intransitive verbs. I can use, however, a preposition to say where I float. Where I float. So transitive verbs have an object. Transitive verbs have an object. I cannot say simply I throw and then stop a sentence. It makes no sense. People ask, what do you throw? You can't say I throw a frisbee. Now it has an object, and the object is a frisbee. And really quick in grammar, an object is the noun that comes after the verb, and it receives the action of the verb. I do the action. The object receives the action. Yes, I could say I float on the Dead Sea. I could say I float in the Dead Sea. I cannot say I float the Dead Sea. I need a preposition there because I cannot use an object with float. Yes, good, Ali. I float in deep water. I threw my shoe in the river and it is floating. That is correct. Float means it is on top of the water. We can also use the preposition in, even though that's not quite correct. Sometimes people will mistake it. If you say I float in the Dead Sea, it may sound like you're somewhere in the water, not at the bottom of the sea, somewhere in the middle of the water. And it can have that meaning. But I float in the Dead Sea would mean I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm away from the beach. Good, Ella. I float on the surface of the water when I was on the seaside. So the meaning of float is on top of the water. The water is holding someone or something up. El Salvador, in my example sentences, throw is different than draw. Does not sound throw with an O sound. Throw. Different than draw. So water, if you let your body relax, you arch your back, you can float on water. Water will carry you. That is the meaning of float. Good, Leo. Opposite of sink. The antonym, the opposite word of float, is sink. Vivek, you think transitive and intransitive comes naturally? I think so too. As you write, it should be clear if a verb can or cannot take an object. Usually it's pretty intuitive. You can guess it. You could guess it. So Leo told us the antonym, which is sink. Antonym is obviously the opposite of synonym. Yes, Lokesh, that's correct. I had a ball, I threw it. So past of throw, threw. And it doesn't matter what form of the verb you use, throw, threw, thrown, will throw, it will always be transitive, always need an object. Okay, let's look at the next word. Let's look at the next word. Fulfill. Fulfill. It's like the word full and like the word fill, minus an L, F-U-L, F-I-L-L. Fulfill. Also a verb. Leo, just if you eat something, let's just say that. Yes, when the Titanic sank, people died floating in the sea. That's kind of correct. The people who died floated in the sea. Light things float easily. Heavy things sink. Let's look at fulfill as a verb. If I do not get a good score on the test, I will not fulfill my goal of going to university this year. I'm going to guess this young child is not receiving a good score in his Christmas present. This picture is a little off. Obviously, his wishes for the present he wanted has been fulfilled. Notice after fulfill, we have a noun, my goal. Therefore, fulfill is a what kind of verb? I'm asking you. Because fulfill has the word my goal after it, fulfill must be transitive. Good. Yes, that's right. Grigorov, that's correct. Fulfill is transitive. Fulfill, accomplish. Louise, I like your answer. Accomplish. A good synonym for fulfill would be accomplish. So we use it a lot with my goal. Fulfill my goal, fulfill my dream, fulfill my wish. Fulfill something, fulfill a hope, fulfill some idea you have in your head. It's an idea, you want to make it real, and you do. So goal, aim, hope, wish, dream, fulfill. That's sweet, Rosa. Rosa says, I will fulfill all of your dreams. That's correct. That's a correct use of fulfill. Fulfill needs. Good, Rosa. We also fulfill needs. Milena, you thought of that one too. Fulfill needs. So we have fulfill dreams. I'll write some of these in the chat room here. Hopes, wishes. Actually, I probably should write it on the class notes. Let's go back to the class notes. Let me find fulfill. There it is. So things we fulfill. Often some of the nouns that follow it are goals, dreams, hopes, wishes, desires, needs, aims. Fulfill. You can't use it with something like water or glass. You can't say, waiter, can you fulfill my glass? We use it for ideas, concepts, for things we want to achieve, Yeah, a good synonym, satisfy. Achieve or satisfy. I will fulfill my goal of getting a good score on the test. We can't say I'll fulfill my test or I will fulfill my score. It can't be that exact. It has to be something related to an idea. Something abstract. Good, Ellis. Something abstract. Used with abstract things. Grigorov, that's correct. Intransitive verbs cannot take on passive forms. Because when you make a passive, when you change an active to a passive, let me go back up to my example sentences. A transitive verb can become passive. For example, the frisbee was thrown by me. This is an example of the passive. You move the object to the beginning, and I'll keep the same article for just to be consistent. You take the object, you move it to the beginning, then you'll use the be verb, and I'll keep the same verb tense. A frisbee is thrown by me. So object, then be verb, then verb 3, then by, and the person who does it. We cannot take an intransitive verb and make it passive. It will still be incorrect. You need a sentence with an object in order to make it passive. So an intransitive verb will be incorrect with an object after it. It will be also incorrect if you try to make it a passive sentence. Yeah, good, Thushara. A mark, I guess we could say that. Thushara had the sentence, fulfilling a higher mark is a challenging task at this level. A higher mark, a higher score, I would say, maybe we can say score. Good example, Thushara. Hi, Steve, welcome. Okay, let's look at the next word. Third word, we're only on our third word. Halfway done, only on our third word. Gauge, as a noun or verb, gauge. He has no expression at all. It is nearly impossible to gauge what he will do next. And they show a picture of dice here. So I'm assuming that they're playing a game of dice, like craps or something like that. They're playing some kind of game, and he has no expression. Whoever they're playing has no facial expression, not happy, not sad, not angry. So it is impossible to gauge what he will do next. Whoever they're playing has a poker face. Somebody with a poker face is impossible to gauge, to measure. I'll put that in there. Poker face. An expressionless face. Yes, gauge, it has a strange pronunciation. Good, Milena. It's impossible to gauge what her reaction will be. So gauge, he has no expression at all. It is nearly, how do they finish? Impossible to gauge what he will do next. Synonym, measure. Measure. Yeah, Louise, we can say figure out, guess. Good. Grigorov, he is very much like James Bond, who has a poker face. Good. Good, JB. Determine. Ascertain. Leo writes, I am able to gauge the level in my oil tank with the gauge. Correct. I'm going to actually bring, Leo, I'm going to bring this sentence over here, because this is where the word comes from. A gauge is an instrument. Your car has many gauges. You have a fuel gauge, an oil gauge. It lets you know how much of a fluid you have in the different tanks. Those are gauges. Gauges. Fanny, I like Leo's sentence too. He used gauge twice. in the verb form and in the noun form. Lokesh, that's correct. Estimate. So gauge. In your car, you have many gauges. If your bicycle, if the tire feels a little flat, you might want to measure it with a gauge. So you can gauge air pressure, fuel level. It's a measurement tool. Do we have weight gauges, Ellis? I'm not exactly sure, but I would not be surprised if there are gauges for weight. I'm not sure of the difference between a gauge and a scale. Usually we use scale to measure weight. I don't know if there's a distinct difference or if they can be used as synonyms. We use it mostly in America for our cars. Our cars have a lot of gauges. But gauge you can use for anything you want, for facial expression. You can use it for weight. I can't gauge my weight. I can't gauge the weight of that person standing on the corner over there. I don't know if they're very big or if it's a lot of coats. I can't gauge their size. So we can use it very generally as a verb to mean guess, measure, figure out. Yeah, Rosa, you can use it with English level. I'd like to gauge my English level. That's usually what school is for. School's to gauge your different education levels. And Lokesh, that's another one that's more the noun form, like caliber, kind of like caliber. Okay, let's look at the next one. Gravity. You probably all know this word, gravity, noun. Although I don't think I would like to visit space, I would love to feel zero gravity. Apparently that's what this person is feeling. With all these fans holding up in the air, he is experiencing zero gravity. Gravity, of course, is the thing that holds us to the ground. It's the mass and density of the earth keeping us on the earth. Good, Sway. You gauge your bike tires. Lokesh, we can't gauge Trump's next plan. That's true. It's a very difficult person to gauge. Ella says, I can't gauge my friend's sadness. Sometimes it's hard to tell exactly how someone else is feeling. Yeah, Rosa, good. Newton, Sir Isaac Newton was the one who discovered gravity. As the story goes, he was sitting under an apple tree when an apple fell on his head, and it gave him the idea of gravity. Of course, that's just a story. I don't think that's real. But he is the one who, I think, mathematically, scientifically discovered gravity. People knew that Earth pulled you toward it. Nobody could figure out quite why, though. Yeah, Diari, gravity is why we have weight. Gravity is why we weigh something. Alosh, you've given the equation there, F equals mg. I'm going to take your word for it that that's true. Leo, we can say that. The gravity of your meaning, the gravity of your words. We can use gravity for abstract concepts. It means the seriousness. So it's not just the physical force of the earth pulling things toward it. It also has an abstract meaning. Seriousness. How serious is somebody? The gravity of your meaning. How serious are you? We might say the gravity of her words made me sad. Very serious, very serious. If something has a lot of gravity, it's very serious. We have another word for it. Dramatically, like in a play, like in a Shakespeare play, you can call it gravitas. Gravitas, very dramatic, serious moment. Anais, that's right. It is responsible for keeping us fixed to the ground, maintaining our fixedness to the ground. It's what keeps us rotating around the sun. And then, yes, Newton also dropped objects from the Tower of Pisa. So the story goes. That may also be just a story. The story is, oh no, was that not, I don't know if that was Newton. I think that might have been Da Vinci who dropped objects from the Leaning Tower of Pisa. But again, that might just be a story. Yes, the gravity of love. Often we talk about that. The gravity of love. Sometimes love can be very, very serious. Or at least it can feel very, very serious. Okay, let's look at the next one. Gripe as a verb. It is common to gripe about the weather when living in England. It is common to gripe about the weather when living in England because it rains all the time. Same with Seattle. A lot of people in Seattle, Washington, gripe about the rain because it rains all the time. So what do you think? Is gripe a transitive or an intransitive verb? And of course, I'm asking you, is gripe a transitive or intransitive verb? Bye, baby Laelia. I don't know why that name is hard for me to say. What do you think? Transitive or intransitive? The notes. I have to get the link. To the notes. Bye, Ellis. I'm going to share the links to the notes one more time in the chat room. There's a link to the notes. Bye, Ellis. Bye, baby. Where are we? Gripe. What do you think? Transitive or intransitive? Ali, you guessed transitive. Unfortunately, that's not correct. Gripe is intransitive. I cannot say, I gripe the weather. We often have to use the preposition about. So when you use the word gripe, you will often see this preposition after it, about. You cannot follow it directly with an object. It will require a preposition. Okay. Gripe just means complain. Gripe just means complain. Yes, it needs about. Yeah, good, Thushar. That's what I just wrote. It means complain. Okay, I think you got gripe. We can also use it as a noun. I should say that. We can also use it as a noun. I have a gripe about the price of smartphones. Vivek, be careful. Don't gripe about that. You be careful now. Yeah, it's complaining. It's cursing. It's like something you complain about a lot. Maybe it feels personal. It's a personal complaint. Alosh, I would say there's not a lot of difference. Maybe perfect synonyms, gripe and complaint. I think gripe is more, It gives the emotion too. You're unhappy, you're uncomfortable, you're angry. Sometimes complaining is necessary. It's needed. Griping is more a normal human activity. Many people, people gripe about work. They gripe about school. They gripe about the weather. They gripe about money. It's almost kind of that normal negative human behavior. There really might not be a purpose to it. You're not complaining to a store to try to get a refund. You are talking about the things you don't like. There's no purpose to it. It's just kind of, moan. It's normal negative human behavior. We gripe about things to get it off our chest. Off our chest. Continuously complain. Something we complain about a lot. Rosa, your sister, gripes about everything. Some people do. Some people are natural born gripers. Off your chest, off my chest, off his chest, off her chest. Complain to get rid of a problem. Sometimes we simply complain or gripe just to get it out of our heads, to get rid of the problem, to throw it away. Sometimes saying something about the things that make you unhappy is enough to get rid of that negative feeling. Just simply saying it and it's gone. Yomera, I just did. I don't think it's a real word, griper, but I just used it. It's not really, Dapu, it's not really argue. Nora, it's more like ranting. Argue is usually with somebody else and has some kind of purpose. Griping does not have purpose. Very tiny, Leo, very tiny difference between complain and gripe. Sway, yes, Sway. He retired. That's right. Okay, next. Hegel, verb. In some countries, it is expected that customers and salespeople haggle over prices. So what do you think is the meaning of haggle? And once again, do you think transitive or intransitive? Oh, Alosh, you're saying Oxford is saying gripe is informal? Louis, good. Hegel to bargain. Gripe, is a little more informal. Good. Hegel, good synonym would be bargain. Diary, you're correct. Sorry, Leo, not transitive. Diary, it's intransitive. Usually we use the preposition over with Hegel. We need to use that preposition over. I haggled over the price of the records at the flea market. Usually we need the preposition over. We can't say I haggled the price. Informally, you might hear people say that. Conversationally, you might hear people say that I haggled the price. But usually, no. It's like make a deal. Good, Leo. Bargain, deal. Negotiate. Good. These are all excellent synonyms. Negotiate. Lokesh, what was your question? Yes, Pablo, it's when you want to discuss the price of something. It's when you can discuss the price of something. Good, Sway. You can haggle the price of a car. In America, cars, I don't know about your country, but in America, cars are one of the few things we can haggle over. We can haggle over the price of a new car. Very strange. New or used car. Cars, we can haggle the price. We can haggle over the price of cars. Yeah, the buyer is trying to get a better purchase price. In my culture, in American culture, usually we do not haggle. It is not okay to haggle. With someone who is selling something personally, it is okay. With a store, usually it's not okay. At the market, not okay. Lokesh, Gripe and Gripe. Grip, Lokesh, is I grip my cup. I grip my sunglasses. It's making your hand into a fist in order to hold something. That's grip, G-R-I-P. And of course, we talked about gripe means complain. Yes, Vivek, you haggled with a person to buy something. Usually in America, we cannot negotiate prices. Rosa, can you use it as a noun? Informally, sure. I don't know if it's 100% correct, but you could say I made a good haggle today. You could informally say that. No, Nora, usually we can't haggle in malls. Sway, we cannot haggle over math. The numbers are the numbers. Davies, yes, you can haggle with your lawyer. You can haggle with another person. Okay, let's look at the next one. Insane. Adjective. Most homeless people suffer from some degree of insanity. It's a very insensitive sentence given the picture. They're showing the character, the Joker, who is, of course, insane. But it's for entertainment purposes. Homeless people are not for entertainment purposes, and the Joker is not homeless. The Joker has a secret headquarters usually, so he's usually not homeless. But yes, many people are homeless because they suffer from some kind of insanity or some degree of insanity. Vivek is saying he is insane. He's calling himself insane. Ali, grab versus grasp. Grab versus grasp. Grab, again, is with your hands. Like if I want something, I just grabbed my sunglasses. When you reach down and you take it with your hand, that's grab. Grasp, same thing, but grasp also has a abstract meaning. Grasp can mean you understand something. You understand something. Yes, Yomera, you can haggle in the swap meet. Oh, Nora, you don't like the Joker pictures. Okay, well, take it off. The Joker pictures. Sway, I agree with you there. Yes, Ali, a good synonym for mad, or for insane, is mad. Mad. Crazy. Grigorov, you say the poor are insane. There was a book called The Poor Are Insane. Oftentimes, people who are poor or homeless, mostly homeless, are suffering from a mental disability. Most of the time, I would say. Oh, if the verb gauge is transitive or intransitive, is the verb gauge transitive or intransitive? It is transitive. Let's go back to gauge real quick. I gauge my, I'll use past tense. I gauged my tire pressure. I'll say it correctly. I gauged the pressure, the air pressure in my tires. That's better. I gauge the air pressure in my tires. Because I can say that, because I can put a noun directly after, gauge is transitive. Yes, Leo. Leo, you thought of it before I did. It is transitive. It is transitive. Okay. Yes, insane is the same as crazy. You are not in your right mind. Okay, let's go next. Nora, look away. The Joker's going to pop up for a second here. Landmark. Noun. When we travel, my parents are mainly interested in seeing the important landmarks. And behind in that picture, you see the Golden Gate Bridge. The Golden Gate Bridge is a very famous landmark in San Francisco. Sway, you gauged the insanity of killer clowns? That's quite a thing to gauge. I'm not sure what instrument or tool you would use to do that. So landmark. Oh, Yomera, you've been there? So have I. It is impressive. It's a big bridge. It's a big, impressive bridge. I really enjoyed visiting San Francisco. Good, Leo. The Eiffel Tower in Paris is a landmark, a very famous landmark. Maybe the most famous landmark? The Eiffel Tower in Paris is a landmark. A famous structure, a famous thing, can be man-made or natural. We can have Grigorov. One day, I also hope to see the Great Wall of China. A very famous landmark in China. Castles are landmarks. Yes, Sway, if you go to a country and they have a castle, that'll be a landmark. No, we can't use for songs, Leo. Unfortunately, we can't use it for Bob Marley songs. It has to be a physical structure, man-made or natural. Rosa, insane and foolish. Insane would be you cannot control your mind. Your mind has a mind of its own. You are not fully in control of your actions or your thoughts. Foolish, you should know better. You just act in a strange manner. You act stupidly. You act dumb. You should be able to make the right decision, and you just don't. Good, Louise. A landmark is a notable location. A notable location. Landmark. Yes, Sway, Germany does have many castles. Landmarks are also tourist attractions. The Golden Gate Bridge is a tourist attraction. Okay, let's look at the next one. Livestock. Noun. Livestock. Noun. My father has a really big farm. He raises livestock. Livestock. Livestock are animals. Animals. It is live animals you keep as a product. Here we see cows. You can use cows for milk and meat and leather, but you want to keep them alive at least for some time before you change them into meat and leather, before you use them for meat and leather, or you can just keep them if you're just using them for milk. Livestock, live animals as a kind of product. Sway, you have chickens as livestock. Your backyard has a lot of chickens that you use for eggs, I assume. Livestock, live animals. Yes, a livestock is literally a stock of animals. A stock of animals, a supply of animals. Cattle, good. Cows we call cattle. Yes. Examples, of course, are cows, chickens, horses. Any other? Can you think of any other livestock, types of livestock? Towers are a landmark. Pyramids are a landmark. Fresh chicken eggs are amazing. No, Rosa, I hope not. No, please don't keep humans as livestock. I believe that's illegal in most places. That's illegal. Oh yeah, pigs, goats, camels. What else? What else do people keep? Dogs as livestock. Sometimes sway, sometimes dogs. In many cultures, it is becoming illegal to keep dogs as livestock. In many cultures, it is now, where dogs used to be kept as livestock, it is now becoming illegal. Sheep. Think more of farms. Think of farms with a lot of land, with a lot of acreage or a lot of hectares. Think of a large farm with a lot of land. Ducks. Yes, fish. Fish are a type of livestock. Turkeys. How much time do we have? Okay, let's get to another word. I think you understand livestock. Geese, good. Livestock will one day be food. Livestock will one day be food. Yomera, some places, yes, alligators, some places rabbits, some places insects. You guys are too smart for your own good. Okay, make out. This meaning is kiss. It's a phrasal verb and it's slang. I couldn't believe that the people were making out on the train in front of everybody. It means kiss for a long time. Make out means kiss for a long time. When you see, maybe sometimes in public, you'll see two people and they will be kissing for a long time. It seems that's all they can focus on. We say they are making out. Leo, sometimes with the tongue, yes. Is livestock countable or uncountable? Uncountable, Nora, that's a good question. Livestock is uncountable. It's always singular. Your guys also came up with alligators, insects, rabbits, geese, a lot. Steve. So if you are in love with somebody, it is fun to make out with them. You should only do it when you're in love with them, though. Make sure you love them first. Vivek, usually you can't make out with your eyes. I guess you could show somebody maybe that's what you're thinking with your eyes. Usually we do it with our lips. The tongue isn't a requirement. It isn't an obligation. It isn't necessary. Alosh, it's different than that meaning of make out. If you say, I can't make out what's written on that box, it means I can't see. If something is too hard to perceive with the eyes or the ears, we can also say make out. I can't make out why that person is, or who that person is waving to me. They're too far away. So there are many meanings of the phrasal make out. We're just talking about the kiss one. Barat, lot, and lots, that will have to wait until next lesson. Quickly make out, hard to see or hear. I can't make out the words on that box. Make out, final results. I went to the casino and made out pretty well. So lots of meanings of make out. This one's kiss. And on that romantic note, we're going to have to end. Sorry, we've come to the end of another lesson. We barely scraped the surface yet again of another list of vocabulary, but I always love discussing vocabulary with you. Your example sentences are excellent. Your questions are excellent. Your synonyms are excellent. Your antonyms are excellent. It's a very lively discussion. You guys are very, very smart. Alosh, we can't say sheeps because sheep is uncountable. It's an uncount noun. Okay, I have to say goodbye for now. You'll hear a few short words from Sean, and then we'll get to the end. Thank you for joining me. As always, please find a reason, an excuse, an opportunity, a situation in which you can use your English and use some of these new words. I'm glad this was beneficial for you. It was a lot of fun for me, and I'll be back next week. Until then, keep practicing. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to our channel. Also, if you want the full experience of being a student in a Smrt Live class with things like homework and teacher feedback, follow the link and become a premium subscriber. Also, if you want to see more videos from this class, check out our playlist.